It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, and it's coming up next.
It can hold over 82,000 fans, and every one of those seats is filled for this one, as our coverage of the NFL brings us to MetLife Stadium. Joined by a former NFL quarterback up in the booth, Mr. Brock Heward. I'm Kate Scott, and Brock, you can brag if you'd like to, because I know you had quite the big arm in your days with the Huskies and the Seahawks in Seattle. Well, we've got a couple of quarterbacks here who also know how to push that football down the field.
Yeah, you got a couple QBs who are going to keep these defenses honest today, because the moment they get greedy in coverage or get too aggressive in the pocket, either of these quarterbacks can drop a dime, drop a deep throw right over them for big yardage, and maybe 6 points too.
Ball teed up. Brandon Aubrey out for the kick. And we're off from MetLife. This return starts at the 5. He's brought down at what looks like the 24-yard line. So out come the Giants. Their first drive of the game coming up. Bringing him out to #1 pick in 2015, a former league leader in passing. It's Jameis Winston.
Don't think for a second, Kate, he hasn't heard the noise. Read the comments from the keyboard warriors who say they just want somebody else leading this team. But let me let you in on a little secret. Those criticisms, they can fuel quarterbacks. Make that chip on the shoulder even bigger to prove people wrong and to show I really do belong in this league.
So their offense out now to get this game started. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Tracy. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
Some backs are easier to tackle than others. Some, well, they just choose violence. They look for those opportunities to bust through tackles and keep those legs pumping.
New set of downs for him at the 38. Winston. Can't connect over the middle. It's incomplete.
That just goes to show you can't take any completion for granted, even on some of the shortest passes in the game plan.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. To throw. Here's Winston. He's going to try to drop it in deep. He's got it inside the 25. And he breaks into enemy territory before being stopped on a huge gain.
Now, right there, that's what you want to see on your opening drive. Boom! Connect on a big shot, and instantly you set a tone that you're not going to be afraid to be aggressive in this game today. Boy, do I love that.
Thinking touchdown here after that big play. We've got 1st and 10 from the red zone. Working inside the red zone. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
You know what I call that, Kate? Punch, and you took a punch, but then you countered right back. You give up a big play, massive play, but you don't hang your head. You come right back, you get a sack of your own, and you change the momentum as quickly as you can.
Offense to the line for 2nd down. Another try following the sack. Into traffic, complete. And it's going to be about a 3-yard pickup in the end. Brought down by Deron Bland.
I feel so bad, I really do. And I don't mean this sarcastically, Kate. I feel bad for these guys in coverage. I don't know how you defend some of these players today, because they get that drag route, they get one step inside of you. Well, there's very little you can do other than make the tackle.
3rd and long for him here. Has his man, it's Tracy. And they make the stop as that play reaches the 14-yard line.
You can earn your money in the NFL in all sorts of different ways, but defensively, in a league where you're just not hitting as much in training camp, you're not tackling as much as they got to in the old days, when you can make a play in the open field, keep them short like that, I promise you some money will follow.
The kick by Gonzalez is good. And the opening drive of the game ends in 3 points.
I never saw a play script that ended with a field goal. It was always a touchdown that you wanted. But that's 3 points, and it's enough to give them the lead.
Gano ready to send this away. Here's Cavante Turpin on the return. He stopped on the return at the 27. So here come the Cowboys for their opening drive. Bringing them out is a Mississippi State 4th-round pick in 2016 who's found considerable success in this league, Dak Prescott.
I don't think I'm alone in this, Kate. To me, Dak is one of the easiest players to root for their success in the NFL. I think for me and for many others, it's based on all he's overcome, from tough playoff losses to significant injuries. But his leadership, his stats, his ability to play like an MVP in big moments, at his best, he really is all you could ever ask for.
First play throw in for Prescott. And his first offering of the game winds up incomplete. It arrived as the ball did to break things up. So it's 2nd down coming up. Seeing some early game planning at work here, Brock. They were quick to attack that throw and break it up.
Yeah, this defense knows the importance this offense places on throwing the ball to their tight ends, and they were ready for it and all over it.
Escapes the pocket. Oh, look at this. Here he goes. And he slides down with enough to pick up that first. They got 24 yards on the play. And it'll be 1st down, Dallas.
You know, Kate, back in the day, we had a slip and slide at practice for moments just like that. Actually practicing how to slide and get out of harm's way. Nice gain on the play. And denied that defense yet another chance to take a shot on him.
1st down, here's Dak. Finds him over the middle. And this is through the midfield stripe and onto the Giants side of the field.
Good luck defending that short yardage slant. Just not going to happen. There's a reason. This is a go-to play for just about any quarterback in every situation.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Here's the lone back on the handoff. And 2 yards is all he's going to get before he's caught. Micah McFadden able to make the play. Give him only a couple that time. It's going to be 3rd down.
I don't mind that call on the early downs. Give that defense something to think about. You got the inside run between the tackles, and whether it's jet sweeps or a little swing pass, or in that case a toss, make sure you threaten to the outside.
Prescott now to throw on 3rd down. Complete beyond the marker. And they get this down roughly to the 34-yard line. They get an even 10 on that play. And that's good for a Cowboys 1st down.
You know, they call that the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your 3rd downs. It's the money down. And nice to see them roll the dice and continue the series.
They'll run here on 1st down. And they had that one contained right at the line. Dexter Lawrence on the tackle. No gain there that time, and it's 2nd and 10.
I know these DNs love to get to the quarterback. I know that sacks many times equals a bigger payday, but doing the dirty work, playing the run well, that's what the best of the ends do in this league.
They give it to him again. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a 1st down.
Ooh, I like that. I really like that execution to move the chains. Now that 3rd down call that they had ready, well, they could stick it right back in the pocket for a later occasion.
Up to the line, and they're set. 1st and 10. Prescott will look to throw. He's on the move. He takes it himself. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
You know, these are the type of plays that really get an offense going. This is a chance for a QB to inspire the guys around him. Calling his own number, carrying his teammates to a 1st down on that big run. That inflates an offense, and it can suck the wind out of that defense.
Here's Prescott, 1st and 10. Into the end zone, but someone's able to knock it away. That's incomplete.
Well, the QB right there, he put it pretty close to the sidelines to begin with. And the defender, well, that was a nice job. Just simply put a hand out there and let me just encourage the ball to fall incomplete.
So after the incompletion, here comes the 2nd down call. Throwing again is Dak. Escapes the pocket. Gets out of harm's way after stringing together some nice yards on that run.
You know, that may have been a situation when you look back on it and he watches the tape the next day, and he's got to find a way to throw the ball because his running ability, while it gets him some yards, is not enough to get the 1st down.
3rd and 4 coming up now. Dak now from the gun. And he will score. It's a Dallas touchdown. The Cowboys finish off their opening drive. George Pickens the touchdown. He finds one of his great receivers, Brock, and they are off to a great start to begin this ball game.
Yeah, it's such a positive offensively when you could go find not just a field goal, but a touchdown on that opening drive. And defensively, this starts to shake the foundation of your preparation and makes you wonder what's in store.
Brandon Aubrey now on for the extra point. The point after splits the uprights. And the Cowboys one up the opposing field goal. They start with 7 on their opening drive. Aubrey now to kick this one away. Here's a return from the 7. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. Now for the 2nd time this game, we get a look at the New York offense. And their last drive did end in points. Not as many as they wanted, though. They had to settle for that field goal despite advancing the football pretty well. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Winston looking to throw. Escapes out to the left. He tucks it and takes off. And looks like we can call it about 4 yards in the end. A tackle made by Mozzie Smith.
Tick, 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 tick. You know, his internal clock right there told him it was time to escape, and good thing he listened to it. He was able to make something out of nothing and at least move them forward.
2nd and 6 coming up here. A give right side to Tracy. And he's brought down after a short gain. It's a pickup of 3. They're going to need 3 more now on 3rd down.
I think one thing you learn, Kate, when you transition from college to the NFL, not every run is going to be a big play. Some of them, well, they're just destined to end in a minimal gain, and some of them will set up that critical play action for later.
3rd down from the gun. He finds Slayton, and he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
You're not going to last long in the National Football League if you don't convert a good chunk of your 3rd downs. Nice find there to continue the series.
New slated downs to approach here from the 40. Shotgun snap, a gift to Tracy. And he's only going to get 2 or 3 yards on that one. Give him a few yards on that run. It's 2nd and 7. One quarter down for these two NFC East teams. Neither side separating much so far. We'll get back to East Rutherford after this. Welcome back. We'll begin this second quarter with the Giants in possession. They've got 2nd and 7 to start. They go right back to Tracy. And he's officially in enemy territory now. They're going to give him the opposing 49. 8 yards on the gain, and the drive continues forward.
I think with that call, they were trying to set him up with a short 3rd down run, but he said, nope, not on my watch. I'll just go get it all right here. Now, playbook's wide open for 1st and 10.
First down, and they go right back to him. And he's tackled after gaining a handful. Give him 5 on that carry, bringing up 2nd and 5.
You gain that kind of yardage in the run game, and you're going to gain the trust of your offensive coordinator. Plays like that, runs like that, set the table for everything else in the playbook.
Halfway to the marker, it's 2nd and 5. Here's Winston. He completes it in traffic. He's corralled after a modest 4-yard gain. Brought down by Deron Bland.
I'll tell you this, you don't want to make a living throwing into double coverage, but double coverage and still finding a way to beat the defense and haul it in. That's not a situation many players win, and there aren't a lot of quarterbacks willing to make that throw and trust their receiver to get it done.
Staying between the tackles with Tracy. And they bring him down around the 34. Pick up a 5 on that play. And the Giants will have a first down.
Win the early battle. Get a little leverage. Low man wins off the line, and that's all that was needed to ensure that first down right there.
Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Here's Tracy once more. And he'll be brought down here at the 23-yard line. And that one goes for a gain of 11. And it's good enough for a New York first down.
Offensive coordinators tell us all the time, big runs only happen with coordinated efforts. Great blocking to spring them. Guys hitting blocks downfield, and a back who can show off his wheels.
Man in motion out of the slot. Going to the ground again on 1st. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
Well, he was supposed to be the one who chipped away a few and got a new set of downs started right in rhythm. Instead, he's now forced to pick himself from behind the line thanks to a great effort defensively.
All right, here we go. 2nd down. A give to Tracy up the middle. And they make the play at the 23, a gain of only a little. They'll get that yard back, but no more. It's 3rd and 10.
Hey, we know running the ball in the NFL is hard, and that play pretty indicative of it. Here's the key, though. At the end of the game, those type of plays got to be in the minority, and the majority have got to do some damage.
Here he is on 3rd and long. Able to hit Robinson, complete. And he gets this down inside the red zone before going out.
You know, I like the completion. You never turn down a completion. That's just not the right throw to make in that spot to move the chains.
On 4th down, we'll see Graham Gano lead the Giants field goal unit out. This is a 35-yard look from the right hash. The kick by Gonzalez is good. And that cuts the lead back down to a lone point.
Okay, one of the areas that kickers and quarterbacks are similar, they want to get into rhythm, and no better way to feel good and get into that rhythm and start a game 2 for 2 as a kicker.
Things trim back down to a single-point Brock as they send this off and away. Turpin with a return. And look at this return. And he manages the 35 before they can stop him. The Cowboys and George Pickens set for this next possession. Their last drive contained a heavy dose of the ground game, a little old-school dominance on the way to a touchdown, Brock. Let's see if they stick with it or if they go aerial this time around. The Cowboys have it in great field position as they come up to the line, 1st and 10. From the gun is Prescott. It's Pickens on the slant. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
I love throwing on first down. And when you see a first down pass just like that, it's taking advantage of a matchup you plan for, and you go out and execute.
1st and 10, ball set up at the 48. Out of the shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. And he's going to have this one down to the 43 on a good run. Just a little short, but still a 9-yard pickup. That's going to bring up 2nd and 1.
So much to like about that run, Kate, particularly what he was able to get out of it. The defense, I think, feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger run and crossing that first down marker.
Prescott here from the gun. He's got it inside the 10. And he takes it into the end zone for a Dallas touchdown. The Cowboys grow the lead to 7. C.D. Lamb with the touchdown. All right, so this solid first half continues for Brock. They're into the end zone to extend their advantage.
And I think if you're a head coach, you've got to be very happy with the effort so far. You always preach about coming out strong, and they've been the ones dictating the tempo. As a result, they add to their lead.
For the point after, here's Aubrey. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Cowboys grow their lead to 8. Aubrey now to kick this one away. Gray now on the return. He stopped on the return at the 27. The Giants and Tyrone Tracy are running back on now. And they settled for a field goal on their last series, so points are a positive, but they'll look to upgrade to a touchdown here. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. A handoff to Tracy. And he's brought down by a collective effort there. Only 1 yard on the carry.
Kate, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Trying the right side with Tracy. And he'll go down, and we'll say right at the 39-yard line. Give him 11 yards, Brock, and a fresh set of downs.
You know, coach gets in that QB's headset, probably told his offense and his QB, listen, I don't want to see a 3rd down on this possession. Or something kind of like that. Whatever version he told him, it worked.
He misfired on that one. It's behind his man. Malik Neighbors, the one he was throwing for. And it's going to be 2nd down.
Boy, you certainly want those throws to be automatic. Every team, if you're going to be efficient, you got to hit those passes in the short to intermediate zone to effectively move the ball in this league.
2nd and 10 now. Caught by Theo Johnson. And a nice gain here, but it stopped short of the 1st.
He's just one of those guys, Kate. Even when he's not open, he's still a target thanks to that physicality and his ability to just play bully ball. They don't like forcing into coverage, but sometimes when you got a bully like him that can create space, you just find a way to get him the ball.
From the gun on 3rd down. He has the first over the middle. And they get this down to the 44 before he stopped. That's an 11-yard pickup, and it gives them the first down. So it's the 2-minute warning here from MetLife. The Giants working here. To throw, here's Winston. Has him on the quick hitter. And they get this down roughly to the 34-yard line.
Kate, when Bill Walsh was implementing the drag route with the 49ers in the 80s, it sounded the same way as it did with Mike Holmgren and me with the Seahawks in the 2000s versus man on a drag route, run away. You see zone coverage, settle down, give your quarterback his numbers, and you can find a completion just like that.
From the 34. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. Well-timed strike by that defender to knock it free. So it's going to be 3rd and short coming up. So they opt for the shorter pass later in the progression on that play, Brock, but, man, the defense took that away, too.
Well, what they tell us yesterday in those production meetings, nothing comes easy. No easy completions from shots down the field to those checkdowns to the running back. Wanted to make this offense earn everything, and they just did.
And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. They get 27 on the play. And now they have a 1st and goal.
From a great throw to a nice route and catch to moving the chains, there wasn't a whole lot not to like about that amazing play.
This offense in position now. It's 1st and goal. From the red zone now. And he will score. Touchdown, New York! The Giants earn the chance to tie it before halftime. All right, partner, what do you think? Was that a design read, or did he just see space and he was reacting more on the old quarterback instinct there?
Yes. I think yes on both of them, and that play happens so fast that it really is instincts on both sides.
Graham Gano to tack on the extra point. And he hits the extra point. A little surprised they wouldn't go for 2 in the tie, but at least he made it, so the lead falls to a single point. Things trim back down to a single point, Brock, as they send this off and away. Starting from the 5. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25 after the return. The Cowboys taking over on offense. Not much time left before halftime. And clinging to this 1-point lead, Brock, probably don't want to risk too much here. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, it's Prescott. Ferguson's got it, complete. He gets it ahead, winds up with about 3. Bobby Okereke making that stop. Second down now, 7 to go. From the 28. Short pass brought in. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. It's a gain of 21 yards to pick up that first down. Now Dallas is going to call its second timeout. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half. First and 10, ball set up at the 48. First down, here's Dak. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete.
Pretty easy to see here. He just simply takes off before he gets full possession, and that is a drop. It's kind of like when a receiver gets a handoff. You got to secure the ball first before you can make anything else happen.
Couldn't connect on first. It's second down. Another throw for Prescott. Got to him right as he threw it, and it falls to the ground. The intended target there was CeeDee Lamb. So they're left facing third and long.
You need to buy your receivers enough time to get open along their route, and your quarterback enough time to find and hit them with the throw. When the line doesn't hold up, incompletions follow.
Prescott now on third down. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. Ball and defender arrived at the exact same time there. So that brings up fourth and long.
I think if you look up in phase in the defensive encyclopedia, that is a picture-perfect form of it. He was all over him in coverage, really forcing the incompletion.
Punt team is on now, and they get this away. And the sunlight's not a problem for him. He looks up and makes the fair catch. We don't get a return out of that punt. And they'll take over with minimal time remaining in the half. Last drive of the half isn't going to be long. 14 seconds remaining. They'll start this series with an option left. And he found some running room for a nice gain. Just before halftime, we get a timeout taken. Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. He'll throw it. Hits him on the out route. And he's tackled with the first down yardage. All right, this is going to be the play that takes us to halftime. We're looking to throw. Well, the pressure nearly got to him, but still a good play defensively as that one falls incomplete. So we've arrived at halftime with the Cowboys enjoying a lead on the road. Now we'll send you down the East Coast to Orlando. Turn things over to our buddy Jonathan Coachman in the EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Kate, thanks very much. We'll let you and Brock catch your breath as we welcome the rest of you to our EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been all you could hope for as an NFL fan. Just a one-point game here at halftime. This has been as much fun as you could hope for with both these teams in it to win it.
All right, thank you, Coach, and we are back and about set to begin the second half. Gano ready to send this away. Turpin with a return. The tackle's made, so this drive will begin at the 34-yard line. Dallas with its offense headed out for our first possession of the half. They didn't add to their lead last time out. They punted it away, but still ahead and able to add to it here. Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Play action, Prescott. Flushed out of the pocket. Now he takes it, and he finds space for about a 3-yard gain. Dexter Lawrence on the tackle.
It's one of those situations, not much to be had there no matter what he did with the ball. Even if he scraped a positive gain out of it, that's still a win and a confidence builder for this defense.
Second down now, 7 to go. Out of the gun, they'll give it to him inside. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
That's the type of call that offensively, man, it just builds so much confidence. I don't even think they were looking to get the first down. Just get to a manageable third down, but instead they move the chains, and that is one disheartening look on that defense.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Dak now from the gun. Into traffic, complete. Good little rip there. Looks like about 6. Bobby Okereke making that stop.
That is a textbook first down completion. Sets up second and very manageable and creates space to take that shot downfield.
After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Here's a give up the middle. And they'll bring him down after a pretty short gain. Only a yard on the pickup, so that's going to bring them to 3rd down and 3. Back to the well again. And he's down. Looks like they made the stop at the 46-yard line. This one goes for 3 yards. And it'll be 1st down, Dallas.
Okay, I'll give some credit to the defense there. Limited the gain to the outside, contained him for minimal yardage, but it was going to be tough to stop him from getting a 1st down as close as they were to the sticks.
Throwing on 1st is Prescott. Complete out to the right side. And this is pushed ahead for a gain of 5. Tyler Nubin with the tackle. Following that completion, remember the O-line looks to be in some pain. They're headed out to take a look at him now. Halfway to the marker, it's 2nd and 5. Handoff now out of the gun. He gets forward, and that's about 4 yards. Bobby Okereke making that stop.
You know, these are the kind of runs, Kate, that a balanced game plan and a balanced offense is built on. It gets you good yardage, it sets up your play action, and it keeps that defense honest.
3rd down, 1 yard to go. Second half starts with a run by Williams. And they bring him down around the 34. Pickup of 2 here. And that's good for a Cowboys 1st down.
Yeah, I get it. Fans will measure a running back's merit by touchdowns, yards, the fantasy football world we live in. But as coaches and teammates, Kate, they want something a little bit more. They want to see plays like that, a guy who will always get the short yards in a critical spot like that.
Right back to Williams on 1st down. He finds space into the red zone. And he's finally taken down at the 7-yard line. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets him up with 1st and goal.
Those outside runs so critical for running back, quarterback, O-line to hit their targets. They got a target area to expose that defense and make the most of it, and that offense just put on display some teaching tape for it.
4 downs now to get in. Here's 1st and goal. They'll try and punch it in. Reaches the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas. The Cowboys grow the lead coming out of halftime. They kept it on the ground as opposed to airing it out, and that time, well, Brock, the ground game paid off.
Well, these great rushing attacks down here that could score rushing touchdowns, it takes the whole party getting involved. Yeah, the burst of the running back was tremendous. How about the launch of his blockers right off the line of scrimmage? That's a touchdown the entire way, and it took the entire group offensively.
For the point after, here's Aubrey. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Cowboys grow their lead to 8. Aubrey now to kick this one away. Gray now on the return. He stopped on the return at the 27. So here come the Giants, ready to take over again on offense. Offense ready to begin this drive, 1st and 10. Here's Winston to the air. Got it, man. Robinson has it. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
That is what elite offenses are all about. Why worry about 3 downs when you need only 1? Move the chains in one play and keep driving that defense backwards.
New slate of downs to approach here from the 40. On the handoff, this is Tracy. He's descended upon quickly and dropped after it looks like a yard gain. It was Osa Odigizua in on the tackle. Just a gain of 1, and that brings up 2nd and 9.
You know, not a ton of yards, but still showing that commitment to the ground game. The type of run that keeps the defense from loading up in coverage and focusing entirely on that passing game.
This is Tracy. And he's officially in enemy territory now. They're going to give him the opposing 49. They come through with a nice gain there. Gain of 10, 1st down.
It's pretty obvious this defense, man, they need more people around the line of scrimmage. But the minute you do that, Kate, you start opening up those throwing lanes. This is how balance takes apart a defense.
From the gun, it's Tracy. And he only manages 1. Couple of defenders there to bring him down.
You know, they got some positive yards. That's a good thing. But too many plays like that, it just is too hard to pile together, get 1st downs against the better defenses in this league.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. This time it's a passing play. Pass cut by Tracy. And he'll take it past the midfield stripe and start the push into Cowboys territory.
It may not look like much on the stat sheet, but this is kind of good on good. An offense gets a completion, not going backwards, and a defense, well, they rallied, they pursued, and kept that screen to a minimal gain.
3rd and 6 for them to figure out now. Throwing is Winston. Makes the grab in bounds, left side. It's a gain of 29 yards. And the Giants will have a 1st down.
This entire play, Kate, depends on how well he can separate from his man. You get man-to-man coverage, it's really about 2 things, separation and trust. Because QBs want to throw it before he breaks, that's the trust, and then they got to believe that that separation can create the big play down the field.
A new set of downs forthcoming. It's 1st and 10. Working inside the red zone. Gets this to Johnson. Don't think he's going to get much, if any, as he heads out of bounds right near the line.
Defense all over that throw. You could just smell it. They just smelled that football coming their way, and that's as good as an incompletion. And they're going to be in a good spot, 2nd down coming up.
2nd and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. They run, here's Tracy. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a 1st down.
That was the perfect play call for that particular situation. Gave him enough to pick up a 1st with some room to spare.
They'll break the huddle and come up on 1st and goal. Winston to throw it. And look at the footwork there. Touchdown! The Giants start the 2nd half with some needed points. Malik Neighbors with a touchdown. They were throwing for it there, and they didn't care who knew about it, Bronk. And it turns out, hey, nothing was going to stop them either.
Yeah, there's something about an empty formation. You are declaring to a defense, other than QB draw, this ball is going to be in the air. But at the same time, you also force the defense's hand. There's only so many coverages they can play, and they just exposed them.
And now the Giants keeping the offense on the field. We've got a 2-point attempt coming up. And they draw up just the right throw, and we're tied. But we all knew extra point was doing nobody any good there. Got to go for 2 in the tie. They do. They get it. And just like that, we're all squared up here in the second half.
Squared up, brand new ball game, even Steven. Who is Steven? Do you know who Steven is?
That's a good question. No, go ahead. Go ahead, though. Take it.
I don't know who Steven is, and I don't really care because it's a whole new game with both teams totally alive.
Gano ready to send this away. Turpin with a return. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. The Cowboys back out on offense. Their running back headed out once again. And after the impressive drive we just witnessed, you gotta imagine that they are hoping to respond with something similar.
Yeah, and I don't love to use the word can't, right? But this can't be a 3 and out for this offense right here. They got to give their defense a chance to catch their breath and turn some of the momentum in the building.
They're out and set, 1st and 10. From the gun is Prescott. Splits a couple of defenders and completes it. And he'll get taken down after advancing this to the 37.
That is the epitome of staying on schedule. That kind of completion right there on 1st down. Well, it opens up the entirety of the playbook for 2nd down. And the 3rd and short in your back pocket, you can get even more aggressive and take that shot.
Off the play fake, hits Prescott. Ooh, would have been a big gainer if they connected, but they could not. Instead, 3rd down coming up.
They would sure love to connect on some of these intermediate throws, those chunk throws. Getting a completion like that, well, not only does it spark your offense, but it just sets you up for even more aggressive play calling.
No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. They'll try and pick this up on the ground. And he'll get it up to the 44. And that play goes for 8 yards, and it keeps this drive moving.
You love a huddle? Kate, you really do. You love a huddle full of guys like this who just know how to keep the drive moving forward. There's some trust there that he's going to get the job done, and he's going to get another shot, I would guess, down the line.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Straight ahead with Williams. And they're able to haul him down, and that's going to wrap up this 3rd quarter. We're still tied through 3 here. Neither defense has given an inch in this one. It's all knotted up at 21. Plenty of scoring here as we begin the final quarter. Let's see how they attack this 1st down, Brock, from the 43. Now we're on the counter. And his effort results in maybe 2 yards, but nothing more.
Well, no springing a big play on that one. It's just going to simply be used as a setup play, whether that's another run or eventually what I love, setting up a play-action pass off that counter action.
8 yards to go. Well, let's see how they approach this 2nd down. From the 41. Nice work by the back here. Playing safety valve complete.
That's a defense's goal, right, Kate? Just get us to 3rd down so we can have a chance to get off the field. And that was a good adjustment on that stop in particular, when the back ended up being the target, and they were able to keep him short of the sticks.
Chance to move the chains here on 3rd and 4. Prescott here from the gun. And he's off the mark there. Too far behind him to adjust. That brings up 4th down.
Can't cover it much better than that. Really well covered, Kate, on that play. There just simply was not a window for him to sneak that throw in.
So a big kick coming up for Brandon Aubrey. From the left hash, 54 yards out. Got all of it, and this is good! And they take the lead in the fourth quarter.
That field goal gives them the lead for the moment, Kate, but you don't feel comfortable when you look up at that scoreboard. This one isn't over, and that lead certainly isn't safe.
Aubrey now to kick this one away. Gray now on the return. This return makes it up to the 25. The Giants and Jameis Winston ready to go once again on offense. And he has to be happy about his game. We're checking some of the highlights right now that he's made so far. A good showing that's seen him in the zone from time to time. And also he's just seen the field well from his spot in the middle of this offense. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Staying between the tackles with Tracy. And the middle holds. They don't get anything on the run. No progress on 1st down, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
When you rush the passer, it's kind of like tracking down a runner. That same pass, same athleticism comes to life. He looked pretty good hunting his prey right there.
2nd and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. Here's Tracy once more. And they've got him behind the line for a big loss.
You know, that's so hard for me, Kate. That's the type of effort that deserves better when it comes to the results. It's going to show up as a negative run on the stat sheet, but that was not the runner's fault. He did all he could to fight to get back to the line, but this defense just kept swarming.
3rd and long for him here. Has his man, it's Tracy. And he'll have it up to about the 23-yard line on the play.
It's plays like that, Kate, right, wrong, where I sit and judge a defense. I judge the awareness. I judge how well that coordinator's got him equipped to see what's going on the field, and not just see it, but attack it. And they devoured that screen game on 3rd down.
4th down, and on comes the punt team, and the kick's away. And he gets his guys a few yards before they bring him down on the return. That one an impressive 57-yard kick. And the Cowboys will get set to go on offense. They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Running this one left. And they beat him to the edge. That run stopped back at the line. Call it no gain on that run, and they face 2nd and 10.
You know, Kate, over the years, I've heard running backs say there's just times you got to run in the darkness. And when linebackers fill that hole like that right in the middle of the field, he ran right into the darkness and the pain of that linebacker.
Another carry for him. And he'll have it down to the 44-yard line. It's a pickup of 14 yards as the chains reset.
You know, Kate, if you notice those guys that love to feed themselves on the field, right? They love to just get more and more. They're hungry for even more. I'll tell you what, that tackle, it prevented something that's going to be a lot bigger, but that back remains hungry.
Going to the ground again on 1st. And into a sea of bodies he goes. Looks like they'll get about 3 out of it.
That's the kind of run play that feels like tug-of-war at field day. And you're just not moving the other side. Just a short run. Neither side feels particularly good about it, and we'll move to the next.
2nd down now, 7 to go. Working out of the gun, it's Prescott. He completes it in traffic. 4.
You know, Kay, that is the epitome of trust right there. Right, when the ball is let out of his hands, I think everybody on the sidelines in the stadium went, because he threw it in double coverage. And you may question the decision, but it's tough to challenge it when it produces results like that.
Here's the give on 3rd and short. And he's able to get this to the 32 before going down. 3 yards there and enough to move the chains.
That is your old school meat and potatoes call right there. Don't even think about throwing it. Just rush it ahead and get what you need.
It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. Dak out of the pistol. It's caught. Ferguson. And this one doesn't go far.
Well, that's a pretty similar result to a first down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, and makes 2nd and 3rd down a whole lot easier to manage.
2nd down now, 7 to go. Working from the pistol, Prescott. That's Lamb running the slant. And they get this all the way down to the 16-yard line. A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a 1st down.
I'm sure coach and play caller doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
So we're down to the 2-minute warning here from New York. Cowboys only up by a few. Offense set for a 1st and 10. Here's the handoff. And he's short of the 1st after a mild gain. So quickly the defense burns a timeout here. 1:57 remaining in the game. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Up the gut they go with Williams. And that play is brought to a halt, they're going to say, at the 5-yard line. No surprises here. Defense quick to stop that clock. We've got 1:53 left in this game. A touchdown would put this one to bed. A few shots at it here, starting with 1st and goal. Out of the gun, they'll give it to him inside. And he's caught behind the line for a loss. Second and goal coming up from the 7. Going ground game again here. And they'll make this stop after a small push to the 5. He gets 2 on that run. That brings up 3rd and goal.
Well, you haven't given up the goal line yet, but this offense is moving closer and closer. Now might be the time defensively to get a little more aggressive, try to stick them with the loss, and make a difficult 4th down decision.
Setting up to pass. And that is the catch that should end this game and seal this win. Touchdown. So that should be the one that does it, Brock. A big one late that puts them up here 2 scores.
What a complete performance overall. The clock where it is and where it stands right now, Kate, that should be the capper. And that is so satisfying as an offense to go up 2 scores.
For the point after, here's Aubrey. The point after splits the uprights. And the Cowboys make it a 10-point ball game. Aubrey now to kick this one away. Gray now on the return. And he's brought down just inside the 25 on the return. The Giants returning their offense and this running back to the field. And get that big old marker out. Cross a major number off his roadmap after that last drive. He's reached one of the marks that every back strives to hit at some point during the season. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. To throw, here's Winston. Neighbors with a catch. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
Well, that is pretty darn impeccable timing between the two. To hit a curl route of that length, it takes great anticipation and precision by the quarterback, and the receiver on the other end finishing it, doing his job.
The Giants moving quickly. They're in the hurry up here. And like an empty wrapper, he just throws that one away.
You know, Kate, that was one of those situations where you hear a quarterback having a clock, right? You know, and he had enough time in the pocket, but then it was like, okay, time is running out, and I got to do something. He did not force a throw and risk a pick. Instead, he just got rid of it and cut his losses.
2nd and 10 now. Falls to the ground out left, incomplete.
Boy, offenses that connect in this intermediate zone are so effective. Getting a completion in that area, it not just sparks your offense, but it just turns that aggressive meter way up. They just couldn't quite find the connection.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. To throw. Buys time, rolling right. Oh, man, too much time spent for very little return. 4th down coming up.
You know, sometimes, and you've heard this from a lot of the great coaches, know when to lose a battle to win the war. And that time, just simply not taking a loss, pretty big deal for the offense.
They still need 10, but the offense getting set on 4th down. Here he is to throw. And they won't do it. That falls incomplete on 4th down.
Well, I think every analytics book out there, Kate, said you got to go for it. You're in 4-down territory, down a couple scores here in the 4th. But now it's all about the defense. Can the defense come with a quick turnover or a stop to somehow, some way, spark a comeback?
Victory formation here. Looks like they're going to take a knee on 1st down. With a win all set, Cowboys in victory formation, and they take a knee.
Nothing left to do now, Kate, but celebrate on one side and watch on hopelessly from the other. What a hard-fought effort to get to this spot, and now you can enjoy the victory.
So the Cowboys come in and take this one on the road. And, partner, I know you took down plenty of division rivals in your NFL days. Heck, your conference opponents back in Washington in your college days always makes the win a little bit sweeter when it comes against a rival, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's just a little bit more emotion. There just is.
Yeah.
I mean, you try to keep every game level, and no opponent's bigger than the other, but familiarity does breed a little more contempt, and we could feel it today, and that's why that W is a little bit sweeter.
So for Brock Eward, our incredible crew, everybody here at EA Sports, I'm Kate Scott signing off. We'll see you next time. The Cowboys are winners as we say so long from New York.